It's me without the hat or the glasses. I need to remember to look into the actual camera up here, you know. I'm looking at you folks, viewers. Guy Vandermeyer here, a.k.a. Dirgerous Rex, a.k.a. me, Elin Holdorf. It's been a long ride. You know, the time flies past. I'm not a professional YouTuber or whatever, TikToker, whatever, you know. So I'm not able to stay on top of this. Twitch, I tried Twitch, you know, but I get back every now and then when I'm inspired. Earlier, I was just kind of inspired walking into the movie. I had a weird experience in this movie. I was going to the buffet. I wasn't planning on seeing this movie, right? I was planning on waiting until next week to go see the new Western, Kurt Russell's Western, something about Azariah, something. I forget the name of it, but it's more like an independent flick, but they never usually disappoint. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't planning on seeing the new Spider-Man movie, but I missed the Odyssey in the theater. Just didn't get around to it with everything that's been going on. It's been a rough summer. It's been hot. I've been working really hard. Great. Things have been crazy at work. Haven't been able to play pickleball like I'd like. My back's been hurting. You know what I mean? I've been sitting at home playing video games. I go to the buffet and I read my novel. So I was sitting in the Chinese buffet getting ready to read my novel, listening to some country music on my earbuds. And I thought, you know what? This is my last chance maybe to see this Spider-Man movie. It could be the last chance. I mean, I work a lot, you know? So I figured I finished up, ate a couple stuffed a couple wontons in my mouth, paid early, went across the street, went to the theater to see the new Spider-Man. Both of the younger hipsters, basically bearded versions of myself 20 years ago, but hipsters like me in the modern era, you know, younger hipsters, you know what I mean? They said they loved the movie, right? Well, you know, hey, I went in there. The screen is really far away and pretty dark, you know. I liked that the sound wasn't too loud. It was a little hot in there. Could use a little better AC, but these are minor complaints, you know. Mainly it's just, it was too dark, you know. I couldn't see it that well, but if it was a really good movie, I could look past that, you know. Started out really good. There were a lot of aspects to really like about this movie. I could talk for half an hour about the good aspects of this movie. But unfortunately, a flawed experience with certain good aspects, a good movie does not make. And, I was disappointed. I felt like I was watching the Avengers 2.0 or whatever. Looking past all the good aspects of this movie, it just wasn't Spider-Man. I felt like this was like a modern, all the bells and whistles version, trying to make a movie better than the movie Sam Raimi made back in the day with Tobey Maguire and just failing to do so. I think there's a lot of great actors. There's a lot of great scenes, a lot of great thought put into this, a lot of great concepts and ideas, money, special effects, which in the end ultimately just deride into another Marvel sludge fest. I don't know. Maybe I have a different take on the whole superhero formula these days. I'm not really a Marvel person. I don't read comic books. I'm not going to the theater just to see a comic book. But even if I was, I've read comic books, you know? Even if I was, this is not what I think of when I think of a comic book. I mean, like, when I think of a comic book in film form, I mean, yes, it was animated, but, you know, the animated Spider-Verse movie, the first one, I haven't seen the second one yet, but the first one was a good version of a comic book come to life, you know? But that was animated, so that's a whole nother story. But what's it called? Even then, if I was thinking of a comic book made into live action, this would not be it. Like, you know, it's a mess. It's a mess. It's not what I'm, you know, when I think of what I would want to see, I mean, it was not as bad as a lot of the Marvel movies, but also not as good. It almost feels to me like if you want to make a good superhero movie these days, then you're going to like approach it through a different genre. Think of the Winter Soldier. The reason the Winter Soldier was good, Captain America, the Winter Soldier back in the day, the reason that was good was because it was basically like a spy thriller version of a superhero movie, like in the Marvel universe, you know. And I feel like right now what I'm enjoying the most is I watched the what happened was when I went to see the this is a little bit personal here, folks, but I'll let you know about it. Back when the Batman with Robert Pattinson came out in the theaters, I drove to a nearby town with my dad. We saw it in the theater together. It was the first movie we saw in the theater since he had visited me in Oregon when I was staying in the homeless shelter. And we had watched the remake of A Star is Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, and then Ryan Gosling in First Man in the theater after getting stoned on gummies. And we really enjoyed ourselves during both movies. My dad cried during A Star Is Born, and so did I. And it was just, good memories, This is the first time we'd done that since then. We've gotten through the pandemic or whatever. We went and I smoked. And my dad took a hit off some kind of pen my sister had given him. Of some friend of hers had given it to her. And I said, do you know what this is? And be careful, I warned him. My dad hit this weed pen. I don't know. We don't know what was in it, but as the movie went on, in the beginning of the movie, like pretty shortly into it, like 10 minutes in, my dad was starting to pass out and fall asleep. My dad does that during movies. He falls asleep, But I kept trying to wake him up, and eventually I was unable to wake my dad up. Like, he was totally comatose. And the girl who works in the theater, I see her every now and then. She still remembers it. She says it's part of her trauma or whatever. Fucking people these days, kids these days, you know what I mean? But she helped me out to drag him into the aisle. We called the EMTs. They said that he came back to life in my arms. I felt, and they said that there must have been fentanyl in there, and that's the first time it happened. It happened again with some kind of fake weed product that he bought. He does the real stuff now from Cherokee, but it was a traumatic experience. I'll never forget though. My dad had him restart the movie. He wanted to watch the whole movie. He's a stubborn guy. We watched the whole movie. I don't know how much he followed. I was kind of distracted. Felt like a long movie, to be honest, when we watched it. And I felt like I was a little disappointed when we watched it, and I kind of didn't remember much of it. It's kind of weird. Looking back in hindsight, it's kind of weird. But my girl lets me share her Hulu, and she has all the extensions, like the HBO. And right now, the Batman, lots of the Batmans too, like the older ones, like the Dark Knight are on there, and the new Penguin show with Colin Farrell are all on there. And I watched the Batman over a period of a couple evenings. And let me tell you, that's the correct approach to superhero. Matt Reeves, that guy does not disappoint. It's like a noir mystery, almost like Chinatown or Blade Runner or something, but into the superhero format, that way of looking at it, approaching it. And let me tell you, say what you will about Mr. Twilight. First of all, he's been in a lot of art films. He's a good actor. You know what I mean? Good Time, the movie Good Time. If you haven't seen that movie, woohoo! Safdie brothers, same ones that did Uncut Gems. Anyway, that movie is amazing. Like, the end scene, you'll cry, and it's a great film. And then the show with Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell's performance will make you laugh and cry. It's almost like a Sopranos-esque, like crime family drama, like Mobland, Sopranos, Peaky Blinders, that kind of thing. But that approach, and the Penguin, and the way his accent and stuff, the way he looks with the makeup, you got to see it. That's the whole. I didn't mean to get to this in a roundabout fashion, but it's been a weird summer, folks. So I'm sitting here in this car that I was given for free when I first moved here to the East Coast, to the God's country, and it's probably in its final days. This car, it doesn't have much left to go, but right now the AC still works. I'm getting ready to drive home, watch some more Penguin, play some video games. I've been playing the Gears of War Reloaded, preparing for the new Gears of War E-Day. I had a strange experience where I ordered an Xbox Series S used in the mail because I gave my Xbox Series X to my ex. And I didn't think I'd need an Xbox again. Now they're coming out with, they screwed up Halo. Xbox is going down in flames like the Titanic. Not in a good way, folks. Not in a good way. But Halo may be destroyed and Xbox may be going down in flames, but the Gears of War might have one last big hurrah, kind of like my girl on our vacations, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm getting ready to play that, and so my Xbox Series S didn't come in the mail. I don't know if someone stole it at the post office or lost it or whatever, but I've been in touch with the seller, and apparently they're sending me an Xbox Series X 2 terabyte special Galaxy Edition with the green dots, no extra charge. So we'll see if it arrives in the mail. But anyway, it's life is weird. I had a fight with the cook at my job, and it just something in the air. They say it's Mercury retrograde. I'm going to go home and ice my back, take another ibuprofen, and try to enjoy my evening, folks. So it's Guy Vandermeyer here, a.k.a. Dangerous Rex, a.k.a. me, Elin Haldorf. Good to see you again. Signing out.